As the tide had started to turn against Germany from the turning point of 1943, in January 1944 the Allies attacked the Gustav Line, where the German defense zone had stopped their advance into Italy in 1943. The Allies had to break the only way of Monte Cassino, a mountain with monastery on its summit. The Allies first bombed the monastery into rubble but failed to drive up its German defenders. Another Allied force came to help attack the Gustav Line by landing in Anzio to attack it from behind. However, the German reinforcements arrived quickly and stopped them from advancing. It was not until May 1944 that the Allies captured Monte Cassino and broke through the Gustav Line. However, this did not lead the Allies to victory, for the Germans retreated to the second defense zone, the Gothic Line. The Allies of course tried to break their way through this line in the autumn of 1944, but with the bad weather and Germans' resistance kept them back till April 1945. Unfortunately, the Germans started to retreat, for they were needed to defend Germany against an even greater Allied invasion, the Operation Overlord, in June 1944. Operation Overlord tried to transport an Allied army from England to France, and thus open a second front in Europe. However, this was a tough operation, which involved a cross-channel invasion of the heavily defended French coastline. Operation Overlord took place on 6 June 1944, known as the D-Day. The amounts of army were incredible. There as an assault force of 4,000 ships and landing craft that carried 176,000 soldiers and their equipment across the channel. They were escorted by 600 warships and protected in the air by 2,500 bombers and 7,000 fighter planes. Supported by a bombardment of German defenses, they landed on 5 beaches in Normandy. After several battles, they broke through the coast defenses and advanced inland. Between June and December, 2.1 million Allied soldiers went into northern France. In the southern France in August, Operation Anvil opened another front. By September, the Allies had driven the Germans out of France. At the meantime, the Allied armies in France prepared to invade Germany itself. General Montegermi tried to cross the river Rhine by using parachute troops to attack Arnhem in Holland, which was defeated heavily by the Germans. This made General Eisenhower order a slower advance toward the Rhine. The Germans saw this as a chance to strike back. In December 1944, they launched a major offensive through the weakly defended Ardennes Mountains, driving the Allies back into a bulge-shaped area of Belgium. However, the Allies halted the Germans and drove them back to their starting point after 6 weeks of battle in the Battle of the Bulge. Germany lost 120,000 men, 600 tanks, and 1,600 aircraft. The huge amount of losses made Germany unavailable attack in the west, but only to defend. On the other hand, in January, Soviet forces drove them from the Baltic area. In the south, the Red Army drove the Germans out of Ukraine and the Crimea back into Romania. The main Soviet attack took place in June to coincide with the Allied attack on France. 3 Soviet armies overwhelmed the Germans in Belorussia, taking 200,000 prisoners. Within 6 weeks, they had succeeded in pushing the Germans back to Warsaw, capital of Poland. From August to the end of the year, Soviet forces advanced into the Balkans. Faced with defeat, Romania and Bulgaria abandoned Germany and joined the Allies. Advancing into Yugoslavia, the Soviets liberated Belgrade, and in November they entered Greece, and by Christmas they had encircled Budapest, capital of Hungary. 1944 thus ended with the Soviets poised to strike at Germany itself.